So basically, the way I'm looking at this now, because I'm 6-0, I've had a pretty good day. I'm not going to say that I throw, but you're going to see what happens for the rest of the time. We're going up against another coal pult lead. Remember, the last coal pult team we fought against, I went for the eject button play, and they just didn't play right. They used the power herb coal, and I'm like, what is this new meta coal? So I'm thinking about this. Also, the fact that they have Amoonguss here is actually pretty nice for me because like Whimsicott doesn't really care about Amoonguss. And so this game is a really good example, I think, of what players should be doing against Zekrom. The last coal team had no pull, but it had like so many ways to proc the weakness policy. So we're going to go Whimsicott Zekrom here because that's usually just how we get rid of like self-policy proc teams. Does Psychotrain deny Aqua Jet even if it's own teammate? No, it does not. Will this be on YouTube? Yeah, it'll be on YouTube later. So I'm looking at this. I think this is the right play. We don't always want to go Bronzong against Urshifu. We don't know what Urshifu is, even though we assume it's water. But you don't really want to go Bronzong here. And Bronzong's really bad versus like Amoonguss. So Comfey is just much better. I'm still thinking though, like I said, I'm 6-0. So like for my whole Pokemon history, I've kind of thought that like, all right, well, cool. The next couple games don't really matter because that's just kind of how I've trained myself to like look at Pokemon. You only need to play serious for like an X amount of time, and then you can like take a break, come back. I played these all in one setting, but the way that you deal with Zekrom, this is gonna be a really good game to show it off. Is if you slow me down, if you don't just lose to like my first 3 max turns, it's really hard to deal with Zekrom. It's very hard for Zekrom to get back into the game. But let's speed this one up just a little bit. There we go. So we lead Whimsicott Zek, and they lead Pult Amoonguss. And I'm like, no, give me the coal. Right? Give me the coal. So like we still have to max. Like we still have to max. What priority tier is follow me? It's 2. Numero dos. So like I'm still thinking, I'm like, this sucks. You know, this is really not great. I'm just like big sad here. And they got Pult. And I'm thinking, so right here I want to talk about this actually. What would you do in this situation? Would you go for like a rising? Would you go for a max lightning to make sure you don't get spored? Or do you think he's just going to go Rage Powder max the Pult? Why would they max the Pult? They shouldn't be maxing their Pult, right? What I thought was going to happen here is that the Amoonguss was going to switch out for Coal because I shouldn't be hitting the Coal. I should be hitting the Pult. And I'm thinking it's a Sash Surf Pult. And I think the Pult is going for a Surf. And then he's going to get a free policy proc and then be able to bully me. And the reason you do all of these things in this order is because this is what plays around the eject button switch out. You would max Worm on the Pult, but like you don't need to max the lower Pult's attack. It's an enabler for Coal, right? Yeah, I also think like Will-O-Wisp could totally happen here. I'm thinking that like I don't need to respect the Pult as an option. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I do not need to respect this Pult as an offensive option. Because I just need to deal with the fact that like Amoonguss is probably going to turn into Colossal for the Surf. And then he's gonna get rid of my you'll see how it goes. You'll see what happens here. I'm really thinking about Tailwinding here. I'm really thinking about Switcherooing into the Amoonguss slot. There's so many different things. And also he could just totally go like Ally Switch Spore. You know what I mean? Like I can do anything about that. So there's so many things that can happen here. But I do know that I have to max, and I decided to go for the Max Quake to catch the Pult or the Coal on the switch in. And I think I just switch up for Comfey to get ready for turn 2 in case something bad happens. In case he does decide to go for like a Dragon Darts and he wants to double tap my Zek, that would policy proc me and set me up for, you know, next turn. So I decided to switch in the Comfey. And I think I got in my own head a little bit because obviously he's just maxing the Pult. But like I'm not wrong in saying Pult should not be maxed in a Coal Pult team.
That's right.
I'm not wrong in saying that. Like if you're playing Coal Pult, your Pult is like a Surf enabler, right? It can have Dragon Darts, it can have attack investment, but like it's an enabler with Surf. One thing it doesn't have is like a Life Orb. Like the one Pult that shouldn't be here is the Pult that's like Life Orb, Max Phantasm, Max freaking Whirlwind Pult. That shouldn't be a thing. This Pult should be there to enable the Coal. Unless it's some sort of like Flash Fire Coal Weird Pult, which is what we used the other day, right? So by standard play, it shouldn't be there. So he goes for a Rage Powder first turn. It's okay. Rage Powder is the correct play if he's going to keep the Amoonguss on the board, I would say. And he goes for a Phantasm right into my Zek. And I really like the fact that he had to go for Phantasm. It's a good play from him. He's a very good player. Goes for the Phantasm to grow out my defense. instead of just going for a Wormwind and proccing my policy, because then he would have lost his Amoonguss in the first turn. And we see Life Orb, and I'm like, what is this? Life Orb Pult? That's so dumb. That's so dumb in a Cold Pult team. He doesn't proc my policy, doesn't give me anything. And so I'm looking at this thinking, like, next turn, he's going for the Wormwind. Next turn, he's going for the Wormwind. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, if I 4-0 healing here, does that get me out of range? Does that get me out of range if I 4-0 healing? I'm at -1 defense, but I'm full HP investment. But he's a Life Orb Pult who did that much with Phantasm. If we were to do another Phantasm, we'd already eat it. Right? It seems like a desperation move. I would agree. But then he's Life Orb, so it's not even desperation. It's like he planned this. Like, you wouldn't have a Life Orb on because you'd be, like, one-shotting your Cole with Surf. You know? Because you're Life Orb boosted Surf. So at this point, what I should be doing here is just waiting on its max. Because Pull is a shitty mon if it's not maxed. Dragon Darts is garbage. I literally have Whims, Comfey. Phantom Force is abusable by my team. And I should just be playing patiently here. I should just go for a double max. I should go Max Guard Protect. I really, really should. But what I try and do is, remember, I'm already 6-0. I've already said that I'm already feeling myself a little bit. So I just decide I could probably eat it. I decide I can probably eat it. I go for the heal. And he goes for the Wormwind. This is going to proc my policy. Note that he did not Rage Powder. And I die. I do die. I'm really surprised that KO'd. I'm so surprised. Also, if I would have went, like, Rage Powder, not Rage, if I would have went Ally Switch, with, like, most Comfeys do have, I would have just won the game. He disrespected my ability to go Max Guard TR. He disrespected my ability to do a lot of stuff with that play. And, well, I guess he saw the Spore, but we don't know who he was targeting. But he does go, and so not only, right, do we lose our Zek, we also get Spored after attacking, which means we haven't even started our sleep turns. We have not even started our sleep turns yet. But this game's not over. Did I tell you guys that? This game is not over. It's not over. It's not over. And I'll show you why. I'll show you why it's not over. I'm not giving up. This only has one more turn as max. Like I said, Pult is garbage if it's not in max mode. It's garbage. It's hot garbage. I could care less about it. So we're going to switch in our Whims. And I think we just sacrifice the Amoonguss. I don't remember. And I'm so behind right now. Like, you could switch in your Cole here. You can get your Cole to freaking get a speed boost off my... You can get everything. I'm so behind. He's taking the full timer. He's taking a long time to think about this. Remember, I wasn't streaming this game, right? Is the thing. This guy's he's just outplayed me so far. Like, super hard. And my Comfey hasn't even started its sleep turns. Come back at the Sentry? It might be. It might be. I'm pretty good at Pokemon. And this guy's played pretty well so far. So we switch in the Whims. And he switches out the Amoonguss to get the Regenerator proc. Really nice play. So he switches in. I was hoping it would be Zacian. And it wasn't, of course. Because we Sacred Fired that slot. So he goes for a Phantasm, which is the right play. He hits the Entei slot. It doesn't KO because we dummy thick. Remember, like a full HP defense Entei. So we dummy thick. He takes more Life Orb damage. And now, yeah, I'm down my Zekrom. I have a sleep Comfey in the back. But like, if you're out of max turns, and this is what you're eating, and you're getting burned because I'm just the best, and we crit, I'm not giving up yet. I still have shots to win this game. I still have shots to win this game. That's correct. Like, what is this Pult gonna do? What you gonna do, Pult? You gonna use Dragon Darts? Good luck using Dragon Darts on this board. I'm trying to wait out my turns. You see how, like, the team, it's so well made in its defensive typing. That, like, even through, like, insurmountable odds, I have the ability to, like, switch in, mitigate damage, waste time, punish correctly. We're trying our best right now. But let's see what he does. I don't remember exactly what he does this turn. I think he just goes for darts. Show me that darts. Big darts. Big nothing. D-Gleam's going to finish off the Urshifu. D-Gleam chunks the Pult, puts him in the range for a second one. Puts it in range for a Wake Up Dazzling Gleam, or a Wake Up Draining Kiss as well. So let's see. So we haven't seen Zacian yet. We know that there's still an Amoonguss, but Amoonguss doesn't want any part of this board. So there's the Zacian. There it is. The boy. And so at this point in the game, we are still incredibly behind, but we have not lost yet. we have not lost the game yet. Right? We just have to wait sleep turns out. It doesn't really matter what move we use, but we don't want to show our speed tiering. So we just want to be slow. And we're just going for a Dazzling Gleam, I think. I think we just go for the Dazzling Gleam because we don't want to show the fact that we have that secret move up top yet. We don't want to show it yet. Watch this play. Watch it. Oh, I'm so good at Pokemon. Because I'm assuming he's switching in the Amoonguss. Doesn't matter what we use, but I think he's switching in the Amoonguss, and I don't want to get eject button out. And I don't want to die to a Behemoth Blade either. So he switches out for the Amoonguss, just like I said. And remember, we need to keep the Whimsicott on the board in case he uses A, Protect, B, Sub, C, Swords Dance. So we can encore those things. We're a Grass type. We're not affected by Rage Powder. So we're switcherooing our Sashmon to make sure we stay on the board. And if he hits the Comfey, I get a free switch into Entei. I'm going to be able to encore the Zacian because he's subbing. And then if... do you see what I mean? Do you see it? Like, oh... Oh, and I'm just trying to wait at my sleep turns. If I can get one foil healing into our Entei, Zacian will never catch us again. So I'm thinking about it like I'm in a good spot. I'm in a pretty good spot. I'm doing my best. I'm just trying to wait these things out. I think I have to bring the Entei in right here. He's not going to go for Sleep Powder, he's not going to go for Spore on an already asleep Mon. And this is where we show the Encore, right? We haven't shown Encore yet. That's right. And if he goes for like a Rage Powder or like literally like a Pollen Puff, like I will encore you in a Pollen Puff so you can't Rage Powder. I'll encore you in a Protect. So even though we got dumpstered for playing impatiently, we lost that game for playing impatiently. Again, if I just protected my Comfey Zekrom mid-game and didn't try to like live a max move boosted by Life Orb, we would have been fine. I'm in this situation because of my own wanting to rush the game. But he goes for Pollen Puff, which again, we can totally encore that. Like, you want to Pollen Puff my Entei that's vested? Like, go for it, bro. I don't care. And Zacian's stuck using Sub. He's just stuck right there on the board using Sub. And I got a Sash on my Whimsicott. I'm in a pretty good spot here. So we just try and attack the Zacian. I'm trying to think of what I do this turn. I don't think it really matters. I think we do Encore. Encore is so good. I think he goes for the Rage Powder here, but I don't remember exactly what I do. Yeah, we'll see. I think he's gonna. I think we do the Encore here just because we want to catch. We don't want the Amoonguss to be able to spore us, right? That's exactly what we're doing here. So he switches out the Zacian, which is the right play. Goes for a Protect, and we can Encore that. So good play from him. And we do take out the Pult. So it's Pult down. Entei on the board right now. And I'm not out yet. I'm in a pretty good spot. And remember what item my Comfey has? Do you remember what item it has? I gave it an eject button a while ago. I gave it an eject button a hot minute ago. And I just want to say that we cannot outspeed Zacian, I think. I don't think Tailwind gets me outspeeding Zacian. And he's going to Rage Powder this turn. I just want to throw that out there to where I don't think we catch Zacian with this. So I'm thinking about it. So I'd love to Encore and to Protect, but I think the right play for him here is the Rage Powder. And I'm hoping, again, this is the part where the predictions come into play. If he has Close Combat, and I can Encore him in a Close Combat, as opposed to Behemoth Blade, which he might have, even like Sacred Sword, he's not going to be doing as much damage to like my Comfey or my Whims. Like, he needs to lock himself into Behemoth Blade right here to even have a shot. And if he doesn't, well then, like, he'll never kill the Comfey, right? That's pretty much what happens. He goes for the Rage Powder, which is the right play. Whimsicott does not care about Rage Powder. We are still encoring that slot, though. Entei at +2, not my Entei. And I don't know if it does, but even if it did, even if I went Tailwind there, he still would have just killed the Entei right there. I could have hit the Amoonguss, but I would never be able to hit the Zacian. So he went for Close Combat. Stat drops. Stat drops. Right? We're coming back. We get a free switch into our Entei. Value. Yes, and now we're just going to Encore. We're just going to Encore the Zacian, who's stuck using Close Combat. And eventually, Whimsicott can just like dumpster it with a Dazzling Gleam. That's the idea. We should have lost this game so long ago, too, if you think about it. Should have lost this game so long ago. But we didn't give up. Just like that first game we showed, we didn't give up. Never give up, never surrender. That's the way we play. And he's thinking about it. He knows he's going to get encored in close combat. And if he ever protects, we just encore it. And then the game is over. So he goes for a Rage Powder because he has to. He's encored. And then this is where I messed up. So I encore the Zacian. And I really thought he was going to hit the Entei. It doesn't reset sleep turns. I didn't think he was going to hit the Whims. I also didn't think that would do that much. I thought he was going to hit the Entei. If he hit the Entei slot, which was Comfey this turn, we had a shot to win. But he hits the Whims, and I was like, no, I need to reapply Encores. You can't hit me. And so, like, I could have went, like, a fadeaway Tailwind here. But I'm thinking, like, no. And so I'm like, I need a Trick Room. I need a Trick Room here. So you see me going over the Trick Room. I have to Trick Room. Right? I think I do. Oh, do I Draining Kiss? That's not the right play. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't remember. He's at -2, though. No, I think I Trick Room. Yeah, there's a Trick Room. And I'm thinking to myself, like, fuck, I'm so boned. I go for the D-Weam, I think, just to try and stick damage in case he hits the Comfey. I think I'll switch Entei in, because it would still do, like, over a third to a -2 Zacian. But he makes the right play. And he goes after the Whimsicott slot. Now, remember what I was talking about. I said, if I get a Floral Healing onto my Entei, he can't catch me. He cannot catch. Like, I will always outvalue that Zacian with Entei. If I can get one Floral Healing, right? I've been asleep for 2 turns active. I've been 2 turns active asleep. If I get this Floral Healing, I win the game. It's over. It's over if I get this Floral Healing. Not a dang thing you can do about it. I think we hit the Amoonguss, but it doesn't matter which one we hit. Because they can't protect anyways. They have to use Rage Powder or Close Combat. So if I get this Floral Healing, the game's over. Of course, I'm asleep. Right, and so we do, unfortunately, have to take the big L. We do take the big L. And, almost. That was a close game. I think that was definitely a close one. But I should have just lost, like, a while ago. I think I just scoop here. Actually, yeah, I just scoop. Yep. All right. But yeah, we tried really hard. And I got really, really close. And so I actually felt pretty good after that loss. Because I was like, damn, I'm actually playing pretty well. And I think, like, their first losses, for me, I usually take them really, really hard. I usually take my first losses, like, super, super hard. And then it usually affects my play negatively. But because I lost that game on the second turn of the game. Actually, on the first turn of the game, I think I lost pretty much. And so being able to, like, come back and almost win really gave me that confidence boost to, like, play the rest of the games correctly. So we're going to begin this guy. More Zacian. Like, Zacian, remember, I fought that Blacephalon, right? The Blacephalon team. I beat that one because their Cole was weird. And then I played a second Zacian, right? And then that Zacian just dumpstered me because of, well, he made it really, that guy played really well too. The last guy we played super, super well. And now this is like actual Lapdog with Landorus. And we don't know if that's special attacker sheer force. We don't know what the hell that Landorus is. But that's the, Landorus, I will say, is the one Pokemon that Zekrom hates fighting the most. Only if they have a Fairymon, which they do, they have a Zacian. Because, like, if I ever want to, you know, max Lightning a Zacian, they switch in Lando. If I want to max Quake a Zacian, they switch in Lando. Or if I ever want to max Wormwind a Lando, they switch in Zacian. So it's really, really hard. My max turns are so important as a Zekrom player that I know for a fact that, like, Lapdog can be a super hard matchup. It can be super, super hard. And, let's see how I do. I'm looking at this and I'm like, I'm fresh off of a loss. And like I said, I don't take those well. They usually really affect my play. Usually if I take one loss, I'm probably gonna take another. Remember, I was 6-0. So that means if this was like a regional, like an 8-round regional, I could go 6-0. I could totally lose the last 2. And knowing that I could lose those last 2 and still get in, I'd usually play pretty well and it wouldn't matter because I'd still get in top. So in this game, I still kind of have the mentality of, like, in my head, like, I can do whatever I want. It doesn't matter. which is not what you should be having in a tournament like this. And it's just because I've gone to so many events over the years that I think like I'm wired that way. More so to like not really care about the last round out of, because I actually test my games. I play in, when I'm testing for an event, I play in like 10 game blocks. Because that's the most amount of games you ever play in a tournament. You'll play like 5 or 6, 7, 8 rounds of Swiss, and then you go into like Top Cut, which you'll play like 2 or 3 games. And so whenever I'm playing and testing for like an actual event, I usually do my games in 10 blocks. So right now, I already have technically tested enough to where like, cool, the team worked how I wanted it to. I'm kind of done playing Mons for a while. Because these would be my like break games where we're actually seriously playing before top. See, Lapdog ended you because they play Protect with Castle. I don't know what that means. And then Orlando because it was the only thing that could kill Ho-Oh. So anyways, we see Lapras Raichu, and one of the reasons why we actually use Zekrom. One of the reasons why Zekrom's actually like straight busted. We're actually gonna play this very weird. You may be thinking like, don't use Draining because he's just gonna fake out you. They're both +3 priority. Raichu has a higher base speed, he's gonna fake out you. But I'm more like, I would much rather like force him to fake out me on my Comfey slot than like actually like do something else. Like, because I'm gonna outspeed that Lapras, but I don't outspeed the Raichu. So I don't want to get like screens Raichu just because I don't want that to happen. I want to stick that damage onto the Lapras before it can screen so I can 2-shot it. You went 7-0, lost 4 in a row though. That sucks. That's bad. That's never lucky. So yeah, we're maxing out Zekrom. We're forcing him to respect our options. If you wanted to go for like Nuzzles or like anything weird. Oh, okay, Protect the Castle. Okay, my bad. Anyway, Zekrom's maxing. And remember, you may be like, don't max Lightning, there's Raichu. Zekrom doesn't care. Zekrom has Terravolt, which means it doesn't care about abilities. It's always gonna hit. So they're maxing their Lapras, which is the right play. And right now, you may be thinking like, what if that's Policy Lapras? Are you really that bad? And the answer to that is, it may surprise you. Remember I talked a lot about how like, I played my first 6 games, won them, and kind of these last 2 don't really matter? If it's Policy Lapras, it's Policy Lapras. Like, I don't give a shit. This is a weird... Lapdog, I've already decided, is not the best matchup. So, we eat the fake out, and I'm like, cool. If this is Policy Lapras, I'm gonna lose. But if it's not Policy Lapras, he's not gonna be too happy about it. So, damage, set the terrain. Really, really important because the terrain's pretty much gonna balance out the fact that he's setting screens here. Goes to Resonance, no Policy. Is there background noise? Is there background noise? What kind of background noise? Does that do anything? Is there background noise? Anyways, he procs my Policy. I appreciate that. And he gets his Resonance up. And at this point, we just try to... I actually... hold on. You don't hear any? Alright, cool. So at this point, you can see I'm Trick Rooming. You thought higher healing moves have more higher priority and take it. No, they're both +3. And then at that point, it just goes to who's faster, right? Who's faster? And the answer is Raichu's faster than Comfey. Alright, it's not Zelda music. Anyways, so at this point, we're trying to just finish off the Lapras. We're going to try and TR and punish the Lapras. And the reason we're doing this is so we can have TR up by the time Zekrom comes in. The way to beat this is to max guard your Lapras and like Volt Switch out. Which is what good players do. Good players wait out the Zekrom. Good players wait out the Zekrom. And he does. So right now, I just kind of set TR. I just set TR. And the Lapras is slower than me, so he can just hit me with another Resonance. So I'm like big sad. Alright. Yeah, there's a Thundurus on the board. Like, if you guys want to... What is it? So, like... Thundurus is behind me. It's probably Thundurus. Alright. So, Zacian comes on. Zacian hits the board. And I just said Trick Room, so I underspeed the Zacian. But am I just going to ignore this Lapras forever? The answer may surprise you. I know for a fact I need to heal up. So we're going to heal up the Zekrom. I don't remember who I hit. I don't think we Oko Zacian if he has screens. So I think we actually just go after the Lapras. And we know for a fact that Zekrom can't do anything. Sorry, Zacian can't do anything to Zekrom. Like, I don't care. If you want to put a sub up, put a sub up. If you want to go for a Behemoth Blade into my Zekrom, like, I literally just full healing. I think I can actually eat a Behemoth Blade and a Resonance. So we eat a second Resonance. It's a lot of damage. This is my last max turn, by the way. But now the demon is gone. Remember, I still have like Entei in the back to deal with that Zekrom, or sorry, the Zacian, so we're fine. A lot of these games, I'm noticing ally switch on Comfy would have been life-saving. I don't think so. Because like, I'm 6-1. So it's like, I don't... If you ever need to switch out your Zekrom, you just switch the Zekrom. That's how it works. You switch the Zekrom, bring in the Zard, their attack does not work. Like, I could have switched in Entei that turn too. And blocked a Resonance and a Behemoth Blade, and then just next turn 4 healing my Entei and been absolutely fine. So, like, you just have to know that you gotta switch sometimes. And, like, the ally switch is how you lose games. When they try and read the ally switch, because, like, I wouldn't have had the healing. If I remember that, that's important. I wouldn't have got that heal, which means I just would have died to the Behemoth Blade or something, or the whatever play. So anyways, right now, I want to talk about something. We see Raichu, right? So we see his board, right? It's going to be Raichu Zekrom. Now, remember how the first turn of the game happened? Do you guys remember how it was? He fake outed me turn 1, right? And that's because Raichu has a higher base speed than Comfey. But, you know what doesn't have... Anyway, long story short. I underspeed that Raichu, so now my 4 healing goes first. And I know for a fact he's going to fake out the Comfey because he doesn't understand how things work. So watch it. It's going to be sick. Show me your fake out, boy. Let's do it. Problem with ally switch is everyone expects it and attacks accordingly. Yes. And so I'd much rather take the guaranteed heal that put me out of range of him than like a maybe better position with ally switch. So we got our full healing off. We correctly played our TR, and right now we're out of Zacian range. So fake out there, I told you. He could have fake out of the Zekrom. If you would have fake out of the Zekrom, I still got my heal off with Comfey, so we're fine. So, and then he would have just clocked my Comfey Sash, and we still would have been fine. And then we Rising Voltage. Remember, he does have a screen up. So he goes for a Sacred Sword. I don't care, because I'm Zekrom. And you see, again, now we do it again. We just throw healing again. And now I think we start targeting the Raichu, because Zacian's going to protect. And I don't care about Zacian. It doesn't do any damage. Zacian does like 38%, and we heal for over 50. What a disappointing Raichu trainer. They played right the first time. What were they going to do? What would you even do? Zekrom. You could fake out the Zekrom, but I still got the heal. I almost want to say I'd be in like a better space if you just hit the Zekrom with a fake out and attack the Comfey, because I still would have had... My Zekrom would be at full health. So I don't think they actually did anything wrong. I don't think they did anything wrong. Maybe it was for a Protect Zacian. We read those. And then we just go for a second foil healing for days. For days. Woo! Big heals. And he still has his screen up. I think I've actually looked and seen that it is like Light Clay. So Raichu gets its Sash clocked. I could have actually doubled into Raichu that turn. I technically could have doubled into Raichu that turn, but I'm like, I don't care about this Raichu. So he goes for the Nuzzle. Oh man, so strong. So strong Nuzzle. Player of Zacian? I use Player of Zacian, but Player of Zacian still doesn't Oko Zekrom. It does not. So at this point, we're going to try and finish off the Raichu there. Yep, last turn of Trick Room, his Protect's on cooldown. We go for the, I don't know which one we do. I think we go for the, it doesn't really matter because I know his last mon's Lando. Like, I know that Lando's back there. So it doesn't matter what I actually do because I know the Lando's coming. He goes for a Helping Hand, which I think he should have just switched his Lando in. Straight up, if you would have switched his Lando in and been able to switch out, reset Fake Out, he'd be in a good spot. But we take out the Raichu, and then we check the Zacian as well. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I swear, if this guy had Lando, he could have switched it in like 10 times by now. And he never did, right? He never switched in the Lando. So I was like, maybe he doesn't have Lando, you know? That's possible. It's possible to not have Lando. But we'll see. See, do you have Lando, my guy? Do you have Lando? Survey says... Survey may surprise you. It is Landorus, of course. Of course! And I'm like, damn it, it's Landorus. But I'm still, like, full health in this Comfey. So, like, I'm looking at this. I'm like, if I just set TR, I win the game. He still has his screens up. I should just try and wait him out. So we're going to go... I was thinking about going with a double Protect. But I was like, I can probably just go Protect TR and then win the game. With a Draco Meteor. That's kind of how I'm looking. Because, like, I don't want my Entei to have to fight a Lando. I'm not excited to do that. But we go for the Protect Zekrom, which I think is the right play here. Normally, you don't really want to go, like, Protect when it's, like, 2v1. But that's only if both of your Mons have offensive options, which these don't. So I don't want to lose my Zekrom. I know he outspeeds me. I know Comfey can soak one Earthquake. So We go for the Trick Room. We see Life Orb, which is actually kind of nice. And, of course, we're paralyzed. Never, ever lucky Comfey. Never lucky Comfey. That's fine. So at this point, we just have to, like, soak an Earthquake. And we go for the Draco. Which sucks. Like, we don't want to switch our Entei in here either, because Entei could probably soak one Earthquake as well. And so can Zekrom. Zekrom can also just soak an Earthquake. But yeah, the TR was stopped. It was stopped. He goes for a second Earthquake. And man, isn't Zekrom just busted? Isn't Zekrom just busted? Crits my Comfey. Good thing we didn't crit our Zekrom, right? And Zekrom, a ticket to a better night's sleep. Pops the Draco and we take the wins. And we take the wins. And it feels good, man. Feels good. And we update the win-loss round. And we're 7-1. That's a pretty good record. Pretty good record. And so we're going into this game now. And it's the first Ogre. It's the very first Ogre that we're fighting, and Regidrago. And I actually tested a little bit against Regidrago, and I found in testing that, like, Tailwind Drago, it's not a good matchup for me. Tailwind Drago is a not great matchup for me, because they just kill my Zekrom and my Zard and my Entei, because my Zard and my Entei are made defensive, physical defensive. Bronzong's okay. Whimsicott can be good. I have two fairies. I'm like, they shouldn't even bring this Regidrago. I have a Comfey and a Whims. They should not be bringing Regidrago. You say if the Lando was Earth Power, things would have been so much worse for Zekrom. I actually don't think my Zekrom would have died. We can run the calc, but I'll show you. I don't think my Zekrom would have died. Because, like, give me one sec. You can see my Zekrom's EV spread right there. It's full HP with specialty investment. I think he would have still had to crit it. I know that you get the Sheer Force boost and the Life Orb boost off of a 90 base power stab. But I think I would have lived. And if you would have done that, maybe I should have still set TR that turn instead of going for the 4 healing. That's another good thing. I'll definitely say if it was special, but also we saw it was physical. That's why we were fine. If it wasn't physical and he went for the first play, he would have been earthquaking. He would have earth powered our Zekrom the turn we protect, and we got fully paralyzed. And then I would have realized he was special. Probably just foddered the Zekrom to the earth power next turn, set the TR, and then brought Entei out. And then Entei is vested, so like we're fine there. So like I still think that special would have been better for him in that situation, but we had all of our bases covered. All right, so back to this game. Like I talked about, you shouldn't be bringing your Regidrago here. You should not be bringing your Regidrago. I got Whims, I got Comfey, I got Bronzong. Like, no way. No way, right? But I do know in testing, the people that did stubbornly bring their Regidragos freaking dumpstered me. Oh, man, I just ate the maws, man. Because I probably played about 200 games with this team in testing. So, let's see. What do I want to bring? I think I bring Whims. Or Comfey. I bring Comfey. There it is. Never seen a physical incarnate incinerate. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Anyways, we're fine here. We see Drago, Kyogre. You don't really see those that often, but like Zekrom is like made to beat Ogre. Like their board is like Lecky, Cinderace, Talonflame, Ogre, Serena. Like Zekrom eats those for breakfast. Does not care, and says like, how about them apples? Eat the Zekrom. Let's speed it up. So let's speed it up. So we see Talonflame, Serena. Follow your YouTube every day. I appreciate that. Thank you. So we see Talonflame, Serena, and I'm like, cool, your board sucks. Worst case scenario, we get like triple axled. Or worst case scenario, we get Flare Blitz by that Talonflame. Or even Will-O-Wisp or something. It really doesn't matter. I'm thinking about being really degenerate here. What's my record? What's my record here? I'm 7-1. It's time to be degenerate and go turn 1 ally switch. I've played patient. I've played well all day. I'm going to turn 1 ally switch. Because I'm a bad person. And I want free wins. I want my wins to be free. And you're going to see me get really pinned in a second here. It's going to be really funny. You're going to see like me like flounder. I know you can't like see my face when I was playing these games, but you're gonna see like my face go like, oh shit. You ever see someone in Pokken try and use their burst like after they run out of like burst meter? Same thing like Street Fighter or something. It's kind of like what's gonna happen here. It's gonna be funny. So yeah, we're maxing out Zekrom. Usually that happens first turn for this team. And we go for an ally switch. This would block the, this would block the triple axle. This would block taunts. This would block flare blitzes. He does go for the tailwind, which is totally fine. I don't care. I do not care. And he goes for the taunt onto what was our Bronzong. And I'm like, cool. Talonflame's gone. Talonflame Dunzo, busted, wasted on Route 1. Awesome. And I'm thinking, crap. He's gonna come in with the Drago now. He's coming in with the Drago, and I'm caught with my pants down. You know what I should do is I should just max guard in Trick Room. But while that would be nice, that would be the right thing to do, if you do remember correctly, I was hit last turn because I used Ally Switch with a little move called Taunt, which means I can't max guard. So you're gonna see, I tried, and I'm like, crap. And then I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, oh crap, that's really bad. Like I was like, oh no, no, I can't. And then I'm realizing like, all right, I can probably just eat this if I have to. And because I also don't have a policy proc yet either, so I don't think I can KO him either. So I'm like, I will get the TR up to make it so we can win the rest of the game. I might lose my Zekrom this turn if they want to double into it. But there's a higher chance they just taunt my Bronzong and just go. I thought they were just going to Dragon's Maw, like the Dragon AoE move, but they're maxing here. I was like, crap, I don't think I can eat a Hailstorm and the AoE moving thing. Make it so easy to play. I mean, I'm not playing. I'm casting over a replay. But yeah, he's maxing the Reggie Drago, and I'm like, I don't like this. And I really think he thought I was going to like switch in a fairy. I really think he thought I was going to switch in a fairy because he striked. And I don't know why you would max strike here. I do not know what compelled this man to think that max strike was a good idea. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. Was it a misclick? Was it the most savage read? But you max striked and you taunted to make sure I didn't Trick Room. That's smart. That's good play. I have a mental herb. So you max strike to lower my speed on the turn that I Trick Room. Big sad Drago. Big sad Drago. Oh man. What a, like, this is one of those games that like I won by luck. Like I misplayed. That ally switch got me into a lot of trouble. And that's why everyone's like, just ally switch, bro, when you have Comfey. It's like, no, I should just never click the ally switch button because it always gets me in trouble. And at this point, I'm thinking to myself, I could Wormwind again. I could start setting my Lightning. My Lightning's already on the board. But I think we just go Max Quake because I know his last month's Ogre. And so I'm just going to policy proc, deal with the Ogre, and then we win the game. Right? That's what my thought process is. So Max Quake would give me a plus. It would give me a +2 because we're bulldozing. And the game's pretty much over. You know, Darth gifted 10 subs. Yo! 10 subs up. Oh my gosh. Yo, the big 10 subs. Misplay, not outplay. We take this all the way to the bank. Darth, talking about the bank, gifted 10 subs. That's 347 gifted subs total. Holy moly. The subs go up. Holy moly. And he just scooped. We take those. We take those, as well as like Darth. Holy moly, my friend. Thank you so much. Yeah, he just scooped that one up. He was done playing that game, and we're 8-1. Can you believe it, guys? We are 8-1. Darth, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all those gifted subs. Holy moly. 10 gifted subs. Let's freaking go. Let's pop it off. Everyone, if you got gifted a sub, be sure to say thank you to Darth. And their generosity, can't believe it. That's so kind, my friend. I really do appreciate that. I want to talk about the fact, we'll talk about this team preview in just a sec. Subs make them rage quit. That's right, yo. Put those subs up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I cannot say thank you enough. Hopefully you're liking this stream. And, yeah, that's awesome. Man, that's so cool. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. And we'll talk about this team preview. I think you going over recorded games is better than playing live during the IC. I used to actually, if you guys used to watch my content, up until like 2017, I actually didn't stream my I stream my games live a lot, but like all my YouTube videos used to only be me casting games like this, where I would pause it and like break it down and stuff like that. So yeah, I used to just do my videos like this. This is how I used to do it. This is how a lot of PokeTubers used to do their content. But thank you so much. Like 10 gifted subs. That's freaking awesome. That's awesome. So I will say that the games that we received for the Players Cup 4 qualifiers. Yep. And I will say that Ice Rider is probably my team's worst matchup. It's probably my team's worst matchup. And I was, are we quiet or modest? Neither. We're, I think we're impish. And we don't want to be speed reduced because we want to maintain that high speed control. So we have a faster fake. We have a faster Dazzling Gleam, not Dazzling Gleam, faster Draining Kiss and faster Floral Healing, so we can't get fake outed because they're still +3 priority. So we don't want to be speed reduced, but we are special attack reduced nature, so we do less damage to our Zekrom. Anyways, like I was talking about, this is my worst matchup. And going into Players Cup qualifiers, I know I have 2 fire types. I straight up have a Zard and an Entei, but what happens most of the time is like you bring your Entei and you say fire the Calyrex, and they just policy proc and beat you up. So like I knew for a fact going into this matchup that Ice Rider is my worst matchup. And when you're building a team, there's like no such thing as like a perfect team that can win every matchup. That's not like a real thing in Pokemon, in like any format. There's never been a team that had winnings against every team. The closest that we ever got was like Chalk, like back in like 2015. And so every team has bad matchups to where like, you know, if this was like a regional, you'd play like an 8-round regional. You're probably going to still make top cut with 2 losses if you have them way around the tournament, and this was a team that you take one of your losses to for me. I just have a really, really bad matchup versus Ice Rider. Like, it's good. Like, Bronzong is spicy tech against Ice Rider, but it's a bad matchup. You should be a caster for tournaments you don't play in. They don't let me be casters. I wish I could. I've applied a bunch of times, but people don't want to hear it. I think it's because, like, I do think a real reason is because, like, every once in a while I'll mess up words. Like you heard when I was talking about Comfey, I said like Dazzling instead of Draining Kiss. I do stuff like that a lot. And I know you guys that watch me are used to that. But it's one thing when I mess up words or something like that because I talk too fast. There's already a bunch of other casters that talk too fast. They can always get Wolf to cast everything if they want casters to talk really fast. But yeah, this is a bad matchup for me. Similar to the way you play against Groudon and Zacian, what you really want to do is stick a Wormwind onto the Calyrex immediately. And so you're going to see me go for a little bit more of a Hail Mary play against this type of team. But the best we can do is try, right? We're going to try to go for an eject button strat. We're going to try and go for some encores on TRs. And I'm thinking I bring Bronzong here because Bronzong's freaking amazing. Bronzong's so good. So yeah, we bring the Bronzong here. And this is just a not great matchup. It was Zekrom you built around. Yes, Zekrom's awesome. If you missed the first day of Players Cup, would it affect your chance to get through? No, you shouldn't play first day. Play all your games like tomorrow or the next day. The games roll over. You can play up to 45 games over the weekend. So we're going against Marcus. And we'll see how we do. I'm not going to give any spoilers to this game. But I will say it's a hard matchup. I will say it's a hard matchup. It's not easy. Especially when they lead like that. Oh man, that is such a hard matchup. Because we don't know what the item is on the Staka. It could be Shuka. Right now we're scouting for Air Balloon, but like it'd be nice to just one-shot that Staka, right? Why does it matter to play late in the tournament? Because you want to wait for people to get points so you can take them. If you're playing people that are 1,500 and you're 1,500, you know, you get 15 points for winning, 15 points for losing. I'll talk about that. If you play people that are 1,550 and you're 1,500, you get like 19 points or 18 points for winning and you lose 12. So you get more points for beating better players and you lose points for losing to better players. So you will only want to fight better players. So let people get points so you can take them. So you can tell right now what we're hoping is that he goes Trick Room Stakataka, and we're hoping that he maxes the Shadow Rider, the Ice Rider. But even if he doesn't max it, I just want it out on the board so the next turn I can double into the Stakataka. Sogla is good. So right now we're hoping he maxes the Calyrex. And we're letting him TR because we can encore the TR next turn, right? That's the idea. We can encore him into Trick Room next turn. And that's such a good play, right? Encore into Trick Room. That's the old school Wims tech. The old school tech. So we're maxing our Zekrom. All right, Calyrex Ice within a TR setting is always confusing. Yep, it is. But you can't say that I'm not playing this correctly here. Because we always have the ability to, like, we can dumpster that Stakataka with Zekrom whenever we want. So he's maxing the Ice Rider, right? So that's what we wanted. That's exactly what we wanted to see, is him max the Ice Rider. And so at this point, we are switching it. We're hoping we're not taking a vest. I think I take a policy from it, actually. I do think I take the policy. I don't remember exactly. Anyways, I give it an eject button, and I take its policy. We take those. And we Wormwind here. And the reason we're Wormwinding here is because we also want to lower the attack on it, because even if it didn't do that, even if it was just like protected, we wanted to get the attack drop on it. So we force him to switch. We definitely take those. And remember, we know that he's going to TR this turn. And so, but we do have our Whimsicott able, ready, willing, and able to encore that Stakataka for turn 2. Yeah, I already talked about it. It's going to be all up on Patreon. I already actually broke down the team if you missed it at the start of the stream, but we're going to go a lot more in depth on Patreon about it. So Incineroar comes in, and that kind of sucks, because I did want to go for like that big encore into TR. But the Intimidate here doesn't really matter at all. So that's one of the reasons why Special Zekrom's so good, because Intimidate just doesn't matter. And he goes for the Trick Room. And I'm like, that's exactly what I wanted to happen. I wish he brought in something else. I wish he brought in like Melodic or something. But it's exactly what I wanted to happen here. And so I'm thinking about this. I was like, I don't know if I KO the Incin. I'm thinking about Quaking because I know there's a Melodic in the back. I think I Quake and go for the, I should have just freaking max Quake this stupid Stakataka, but I'm bad. I get greedy. I should just max Quake the damn Stakataka. I really, really should have. Because I Encore here, thinking I'm gonna, because like, the reason why I did it like this, I didn't want to Encore him and kill him so he couldn't live to resist the TR, right? That's why we didn't nuke the Staka. Because we want him to live long enough to Trick Room the Trick Room, right? That's what we wanted. But he has Mental Orb, so he can't, right? And he Gyro Balls. Ugh. That hurts. And remember, he had an attack drop too. I was really, really surprised that still KO'd. Because it would have just procced our policy. It would have just procced our policy. He gets a defense boost and he goes for a Punisher. So like, at this point, I'm like, fuck. I played that so well. Because I did play that really well. Like, I had the perfect lead on the Calyrex in a terrible matchup. I got rid of their Maxmon, right? But now I'm sitting here, Whimsicott down, Trick Room's still up, and I have a -1 Zekrom with no way to proc its policy, really. So I'm just in a really bad spot. We do get another special deboost. Alright, so I don't remember what you bring out. This game's not even close to over either. There's still a lot of this game left. But good play from the Incin. Had no clue. Mental Orb stopped Encore. Yep, taunt Encore. Stopped the track too. Stopped the track as well. Yeah, it's really, really good. So we ran the Entei here, and I think Entei is good at like pinning the Ice Horse. And this time I'm like, all right, screw your stupid Stakataka. I'm gonna kill it. I'm killing the Stakataka. It's done. It's wasted. I don't want to deal with that thing anymore. And I'm probably playing it I'm probably not playing this correctly, I think. I think I'm not playing this correctly. But I will say that, like, Entei on this team is so good. Like, Entei is so freaking good. It just doesn't take the Intimidates. It just eats it like a champ. Can't fake out it. Like, Entei, always good. So you see they go for an ally switch, of course. They use the good player move here, and they ally switch. This is not my day. So this is how you beat Zekrom, by the way. You just completely like derail it. We eat it like a champ. Like a freaking champion, we ate that. But yeah, he's just completely like stopping all of our tempo. It's at the cost of his Trick Room turns, but you see what I mean. It's still not a great spot. And I'm thinking like, if I burn the Stalker, because I did actually go for the, what is it? Also, if I was to have doubled that Stalker, we would have just won the game, but like, whatever. And we don't get a burn off our Sacred Fire, of course. And now I'm at a max turns. And I'm thinking, like, if your board is, like, Staka and Sid, Zekrom Entei wins it. We win. But, yeah, it's not a good spot. Earth Power should still KO, but, like, I don't want to die. And so, like, I'm thinking, this is just the worst overall set of things that's ever happened ever. And I gotta switch in my Bronzong. I have to do it. And so the ally switches, the mental herb, Stakataka, the fake outs, the Incin switching in, like, it's just been a long, rough game for my boy Zekrom. And I almost took the timer that turn. Because, like, also, his is my team's a Trick Room team, too. We're both really bulky, but his is, like, a Trick Room team that has super effective moves versus my whole Trick Room team. I couldn't bring Zard because he had Staka, and I would have brought Zard in this situation. I would have totally brought Zard instead of Bronzong here, but he had Staka, so, like, I couldn't do it, you know, in the team preview. If it was, like, a Porygon, like, Zard would have been really good. So we're going for the Glacial Lance. Bronzong doesn't care. That's one of the reasons why Bronzong is, like, on this team as, like, a partner for, a partner for Zek, because, like, it doesn't care about Glacial Lance. Yep, that's not that much at all. We definitely take those. So I'm thinking, I think he has one more turn of TR. I'm thinking to myself, all right, can I eat a Glacial Lance? Can we eat one? What do you guys think? You guys think we can eat a Lance? What do you guys think? We let him policy proc. He goes for another ally switch. The good player alert right now. Good player alert. We go for a body press here. Stupid Ice Horse slot. And he goes for the Lance. Do we eat it? Someone's talking about how bulky my Zekrom is. I'm going to show you how bulky I am. Eat it like a freaking champion. Like a champion. This is the last turn of TR, I think, too. Earth Power. Never lucky. Dimensions return to normal, though. We're okay. Now, the problem here is Dimensions return to normal, but I underspeed the Ice Horse, but I don't underspeed the Staka. Like, I don't underspeed Staka with, like, how do I put this? I underspeed Ice Horse with my Bronzong, but I don't underspeed. You guys get it. Yeah, Zekrom ate it like a champ. We're only at +1 though. I should have used the Rising Voltage. He switches out in for Incin here. I think we actually played really well in this exact turn, to where we actually just respected his Trick Room option. I think I finally get that freaking stock off the board. Yep. Finally. Get out of here. And the body press goes into the Incin slot. Good damage. Puts him within range for a +1 Earth Power, I think. So I'm in a good spot now, right? I'm in a good spot. Would you say that I'm in a spot that's good? Would you say that I'm in a spot that's good? I would. I would say that I'm in a spot that's good here. Remember what you guys have been telling me to do all day? You guys remember what you've been telling me to do all day? I'm bad. I'm so bad at Pokemon sometimes. It's going to happen eventually. We protect. The right play here is to protect Body Press. Just to get the Calyrex off the board and force him to, like, if he fake outed my Bronzong here, he'd be a legend. But no, he's faking out the right target. I think he just goes for a Lance and doesn't kill. So right now, I think I'm still in a good spot. I'm still hanging on by a little thread. I'm just hanging on to the best of my abilities. Live and learn. Body press. Now, we've taken out the Calyrex. We've taken out the Staka. There is an Incin that is within range for Earth Power. And they bring out Melodic. And I think this is really weird. I mean, just watch. It's going to be weird. The Melodic outspeeds my Zekrom. And I'm bad. Yeah. and I'm terrible. I'm deciding to go for the ally switch because, like, I don't know if they have, like, Ice Beam. Because, like, Muddy Water won't kill Zekrom. So I'm ally switching to get rid of Ice Beam. He goes for Muddy Water. He misses on Bronzong. We take those. And it doesn't kill Zekrom. But then, and I'm like, cool. I'm going to win. And we don't KO. So first of all, he outspeeds my Zek, lives the move, and then he freaking flare blitzes the fucking Bronzong slot. If I just would have left my Bronzong there, if I would have just not ally switched, I would have won the game. I would have won the game. Right? Because you would have KO'd there, I would have brought in Entei. Entei pinned super hard, and you can't, he didn't have anything to deal with the Zek. He was muddy watering. So, yeah, that's right. Ally switch lost me that one. Ally switch just made me take the big L. Ally switch. I'm thinking how I get out of this, and I'm like, maybe that Modic's choiced. If it is choiced, he can miss every muddy water imaginable. We don't KO the Ensign. He procs the berry. Yeah, so like ally switch is not that great on this team. Once he enters his major role in the team, it's inner focus, so it doesn't get fake outed. It doesn't have to deal with intimidate, and it gives me a good pivot from things that Zekrom's weak against, especially like berries. So yeah, we lost this one. But you know what? Like, I tried so hard. Again, that matchup on paper is an auto loss. Like on paper, Ice Rider is an auto loss. Like I'm 100% down to take every L to every single Ice Rider team that I fight with this team, and that's just a team building. I've optimized my, like, I went undefeated versus Groudon. I went 2-1 against Zacian, and I fought 6 of those teams, right? So I'd much rather guarantee my wins against the meta teams and maybe take a loss here or there against a team that I don't fight as often. So at this point, I'm just praying. I'm going for Sacred Fires because I want to get burns up just to mitigate his lefties. He could still miss every Muddy Water. I'm not scooping. He doesn't miss the Muddy Water though, and he does win. So yeah, someone said 8-1 with Zekrom, and I'm like, well, how about I'm 8-2, which is still pretty good with special Zekrom, I would say. Let's read this. I just want to say I battled you the other day when you're using Klefki's Sylveon team, and I had Dialga Arctozolt team. Sorry, Dialga Dragozolt. Really fun even though you destroyed me. Yo, you should use Sandstorm. That was a good game. Actually, that was a really fun game. Thank you, Fo, for stopping by. Sorry, but it took me a sec to reply to that. But, so, remember how I talked about how, Shadow or Ice Rider being the worst matchup and going right into an L. I talked about how it's hard for me to hold these L's. The next matchup is another Ice Rider, and I'm like, oh. And this one has Grim, which is actually like another hard matchup because it just screens. You've noticed with this team that we're so one-dimensional and that we have to pick up KOs within the first couple turns. If you can stop me from, if you can just set a screen, Zekrom doesn't do anything. The reason why Zekrom's good is because most of the time they set Reflect or use Intimidate, and basically Zekrom's special, so we're fine. What's the team we have here then? This is my Players Cup team. Gotta go now. Watch the rest of the stream tomorrow for sure. Have a great day. Yo, watch it on YouTube. This is like Moxie Boosted Pizza team, just because it was Appleton, yeah. But anyways, we're going into this one. And I just came off a loss. So hopefully we don't lose again. I've decided that, like, you know what? This one doesn't have Stakataka. And because you don't have Stakataka, I'm afforded the luxury of Charizard. Charizard's pretty good in this matchup. It's almost like I put Charizard on the team to deal with a lot of these things. You know, like that Thunderous over there? You see that Thunderous? Charizard don't care about Thunderous. You hit me, you proc my Walking Berry, activate my Blaze, and you're out of here from the Inferno, from the Wildfire. And so I'm ready to go. I'm in a pretty decent spot here. And we're going Zard. Remember, Zard adds more than just the potential Maximon. It adds Bait as a Maximon, and it just goes Helping Hand, enables the Zekrom to actually still hit its +1 rolls, which are just as significant as its +2 rolls. So let's see what he's going for here. Survey says they're leading with Porygon and Incineroar, and I'm like I care, yo. Like I care. So Entei. I didn't go Zek. I went Entei because that's the right play. Entei's so good against this team. Entei's so good. Alright, and they get the download. I think they get a special attack proc, and I was sitting there thinking, like, that's dumb. And it's only because all my points are in defense, because like both these two actually have like good specialty. But they get a special attack proc, which is bad. And the way I'm gonna have to play this game is to just go for burns on the Porygon. And it's actually even better to just like, I think I'd go for like a Heat Wave and a Sacred Fire, because I don't care if you fake out my Zard, which you shouldn't because I should max it. I think you're parting shotting the Zard. And so I'm baiting you. Like, that's what Zard does. Zard is absolutely bait. And we do get the first burn off of that Sacred Fire, which is really nice. So, yeah, we're just getting damage on Porygon because we want to wake him. We're going to let him TR. And we're wasting his Incineroar right here. You could totally come in with a Shadow, with the Ice Rider. Like, I don't care if you come with Ice Rider because Entei's big, right? Yeah, Zekrom needs it does need a lot of babysitting. You got to play Zekrom very patiently. And, like, I don't think I'm patient enough to really play it to the best of its ability, but I can get away with it. So, anyways, he's probably going to bring in the Ice Rider here, I think. Yeah, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Really do appreciate that one. Let's see it. So there's the Ice Rider. She's like, yes, Ice Rider. And I'm like, I don't care. I'll probably stop it. Like, I wouldn't even mind stopping now. My rating's actually really nice. So, like, I could actually probably stop now and still qualify. So we let them get Trick 'em up. And see how much damage he's taken. So that burn's really going to help us out here. And he's like, cool, I have a parting shot up on your Zard. And I'm like, I don't care. Zard's going to protect. Switch out for Bronzong. You see, like, you see how much easier this matchup is with Zard as opposed to, like, a different Mon? Like, the Stalker really, really limited my Zard here, which is what I didn't like. But the fact that I have Zard's just, like, so good against Ice Rider if played correctly. And so we're just going to wait out their TR and be fine. So Zard's just going to protect. This is in case they're Lancing. Goes for an Eerie Impulse. Good thing I didn't attack, right? Good thing I didn't Heat Wave, right? That would have been bad. He even high horsepowered. Cool. So he wasted a full turn of his Trick Room. An absolute full turn of his Trick Room gone. Wasted, donezoed. They know that I'm probably going to be switching out my Zard this turn, which I definitely am. But no, look at what I switch into. It's almost like I played the game. And you know what? I'm going to get greedy here. I should not have done this. I should not have Trick Roomed here. Because now I'm going into a Trick Room versus Trick Room matchup where I could have just waited out one more turn of his Trick Room, I think. But, yeah, you see I switched the Entei to block the Glacial Lance, right? So he goes for a recover because we knew he was recovering this turn. So that's how we know we can get the Trick Room here. And we don't know anything about these Ice Rider yet. We don't know if it's vested, orbed. We haven't seen any damage. We don't know if he even has Protect. But we eat this Lance so well with this board. Like, we eat this Lance so well with this board. Oh my gosh, it's just so well. And you see the Orb, which is actually like, I will take that. And we Trick Room the Trick Room. And so things that are popping in my head now as a player are like, all right, Porygon, he can go protect Ice Rider Trick Room. He can go Ally Switch. There's so many things that happen. I know I can eat one Orb high horsepower. I know that I can eat one. And I'm thinking, I'm going to Trick Room his Trick Room. Because if he goes protect Trick Room, which he should, there's no reason he shouldn't. He didn't, by the way. And then we don't get the burn. And then he doesn't Trick Room, and I just Trick Roomed him back. You see what I mean? Like, that's like, it's so hard. Yeah. And so he Trick Rooms, oh, sorry, the Trick Room back there. So, yeah, he Trick Room with the Ice Rider. He messed up. That's a myth. But we actually have that same thing happen later where we Trick Room the Trick Room. But anyways, we're still not in Trick Room. But, like, we didn't get the burn, which sucked. And so, like, right now, I'm like, fuck, that Trick Room of a Trick Room play, that only works once. Yo, was that a sub? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think I've asked you before, what is your name a reference to? I'm actually really curious. I'm gonna put some subs up for you. But yeah, that Trick Room of Trick Room play, that only works one time. Then they wise up, and then they start, like, doing what he does this turn. I think he just protects Calyrex this turn and sets TR, and I don't TR, and then he gets a full, like, 5-turn TR on me. I could have just, like, waited out that last TR that he had. You know what I mean? I could have ally switched that turn. There's still so many things that can happen, but, like, oh, man. The good thing is that we have a burn ticking on his Porygon. That's the good thing. The burn is ticking on Porygon, and that is very good. So he goes for Protect Calyrex. So we've seen Protect. We've seen TR. That's the good move set. So we've also seen the high horsepower. So we've seen all 4 of his moves. And we go for that. I think we doubled into the Calyrex to make sure we got it. And he goes for the Protect Trick Room. And I'm like, So now he gets a full 5 turns up on us. And I'm like, bruh. Don't do it like that. And I think at this turn, I think we decided to max the Entei so we don't die. Because that Tri-Attack put us within range for a chip. And do we ally switch here? Am I a good player? I should ally switch here. I really should. I should ally switch here. If I'm not ally switching here, I'm terrible at Pokemon. But I think he actually switches as an Incin here. Yeah, he's good. See how good he is? Because he knows. He knows that I'm maxing the Entei. He's playing around the ally switch. Like, he's mostly doing this to play on ally switch, and I actually took the bait, which is why I talked about myself. Like, I don't have enough patience to play like these games. Not anymore. I've played enough Pokemon games. Games should just be over. But maxing here, it's good and bad. But, I mean, I wanted to get that Calyrex off the board. 1628 rating wasn't 95 World Last Players Cup. Well, that's the first day. Like, if you actually go and just update that on, like, the last day, you'll note that you go down a lot. Because, like, right now, your 1628 rating is because people can only play 15 games, right? But when people can play 45 games, your 1600 is not going to be that good. So, anyways, we suck. And he's, you know how patient this guy's playing? He's, like, playing so well. He even gets his recover off. Like, I could have trick him that turn, because the Porygon was recovering, and these matchups where you have to trick rooms are hard. Like, it's very hard. And I'm setting the Sun for him to, like, punish my Bronzong. It's like, it's not a good matchup. But I haven't lost yet. I have not lost yet. I'm still playing in my outs. It's just he's playing really well. Like, like, shoutouts to him for, like, knowing what I'm about to, like, knowing what I'm up to. So I'm thinking to myself, like, Incineroar can dumpster my Bronzong. I think we have to just, like, yep. I think we have to try to, I think I ally switch. Do I ally switch here? Because I realize I'm not tricking this Trick Room anymore. I'm not playing that game anymore. Because he'll just always be able to wait me out and then get more Trick Rooms. I should just wait out this exact Trick Room, and I need to just KO this Incin, right? Which is what I think I do. I think do I ally switch here? I think, yeah, he goes for the fake out. I think I am ally switching though, right? Because it'll show it right there. I ally switched there just because I was pretty sure he was going to do that. And I wanted to put it in his head that I was like that crazy guy that ally switch every turn. Like at this point, I've already kind of decided that I've lost, and I'm like, I got to do something. And at the very least, like that shows him that I'm like trying to do ally switch. So I want to put it in his head that I'm ally switching every turn. Which, I mean, at that point, it's hail. At that point, I'm like, I might as well just be going for double protects, you know? If I ally switch every single turn. Pretty not so great plays, I would agree. And he hasn't maxed yet. That's like the thing. Like, he has not maxed. And I'm running out of max turns. I think I have one more max turn. But the Incin went down. The Incin's gone. So, like, we take those. We definitely take those. And remember, one good thing for me right here is that he's life warped. And there is a Sandstorm. So that's pretty nice. I want to get that guy off the board. I think I still Wax Flare, though. I think I still Flare, yeah. But I think does he guard me here? 4 times in a row. I believe it. Ally Switch is a pretty good move if you use it correctly. This game, it's been mixed bag of Ally Switch this game. Mixed game of Ally Switch. He's withdrawing the Porygon. And remember how I talked about like how good Entei is? Like, just doesn't die. And there's the Appleton. He's trying to close me out right now. There's the body press. Look at that damage. Look at that damage. It's good damage. He goes for the high horsepower. I'm in max mode. And he still gets it. What if I would have used Ally Switch there? If I would have Ally Switch, I would have won the game. If I would have clicked Ally Switch right there, I would have won the game. But he made the savage reads. The outplays for days. And now he has a Glacial Lance attack boost. He hasn't maxed yet. But you know what? You know what? Do you see why I'm in a good spot? He's within range for body press. That's why I went with the body press. And so, right here, this is where we make our comeback. Send out the Zekrom. It's time. It's time for me to send out the Zekrom. +1 Calyrex and Appleton. I realize that the Appleton's going to max, right? He's so maxing, right? I've never seen someone max so much in my life. So I'll take a policy proc while we're young. I'll take this policy proc. And right now I'm just praying. I'm like, if you max this Calyrex, I don't think I come back from this. I don't think I do. But I'm like, if you max this Appleton, I got you. And I see the max Appleton and I'm like, I got him. Because remember what we got in the back? Do you remember? Do you guys remember what Pokemon I said was busted in this matchup if they don't bring Stakataka because this guy didn't have one? This thing called Charizard. It's pretty good. So he's going for a Wormwind. Like I said, I appreciate the policy proc. I say thank you. And I say I'll take another one. Not even Gmax. It's better to not be Gmax. it's better to be that one because you have terrain control in this one. So like if you're fighting against Shadow Riders that has like entities and stuff like that, you have terrain control with this one. And you can also use that as like a steroid to give your Apple assets more damage. So if you don't want to be G-Max. So we take out the Calyrex, which we wouldn't have done. We wouldn't have been able to do it. And also he would have been able to set the ice to take away my rocks. Or my Sandstorm. Like he should have maxed the Calyrex, but like that would have, again, it would have took, like you said, major stones. But yeah, that's the last turn of Trick Room, right? That is the last turn of Trick Room. And I have a policy proc Zekrom and an Appley Boy. And a special attack boost. This Porygon's scary. He also could have maxed Porygon probably and been really good in this matchup. And so I'm thinking, I'm like, if he goes G-Max Guard, or Max Guard in Trick Rooms, we lose. That's game's over. So, we decide to pull the trigger and say, Porygon, never heard of it. What's that? Draco Meteor's popping it off right now. Absolutely massive damage. Low, low, low. And you remember, Bronzong will not be denied. Body press, super effective. Porygon goes down. No TR for you. No TR for you, my guy. You can take that literally anywhere else. And you could totally Wormwind. You could totally Wormwind. I don't even care. I do not. And then we lose our boy here. We do, in fact, lose the boy. But, man. We come in with the good Pokemon now. He still has one max turn. And I actually think that if I was using just a regular Zard, we probably would have lost. Are most Zekroms physical? Yes. They're all physical. Yeah, we just go for Protect. And right now, I know he's thinking like, please click Air Slash. Please click Air Slash. And you know what I won't do? I will not click Air Slash. I will not do that. That is not happening. We are not going to click Air Slash because we know he's policy. We're just going to do our damage. We're just going to sit here. We're going to do our damage. You can go for your Wormwind. This is your last max turn, by the way. And our Zard's freaking dummy thick, remember? We got that full HP Zard. Nice. We're probably thicker than that Appleton with our Charizard. And we just wait him out. Just wait him out. No more maxing. I'm still not clicking that Air Slash button. The way that we lose is like procking a policy and then he just like destroys our life force. We just bulldoze and use our weak ass Heat Wave. And you ain't got nothing against this, my guy. You ain't got nothing. There's like 5 or 6 Trick Rooms that went off in that game. So what you're saying is your Charizard is extra thick. I am. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. He ain't got nothing against this. He's thinking right now too. He's like, I ain't got nothing. Because if he Draco's a Zard, he'll never kill the Bronzong. And if he Draco's a Bronzong, he'll never kill the Zard. His only outplay here is to like wish that I proc policy and to get a KO with Apple Acid, which I will not do. You should have respected Bronzong. I mean, he kind of did. He fake outed it with the Incin. It's just that he brought Appleton, Porygon, and Ice Rider, and Bronzong is a Pokemon that like no one plays around. That doesn't do anything. Also, this is like a full HP, not full, but like it's full HP, and I think like 176 points in Specialty Bronzong. So like we dummy thick. I'm thinking about Air Slash, and I'm like, nope, not doing it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna proc your policy, bro. I'm just gonna go for Heat Wave. For days. And remember how we KO'd that Porygon? Bronzong busted. Bronzong busted. Picking up the big KOs. It's awesome, right? Isn't that just the best thing you ever did see? It is the best. I will say that it is the best.